Ever heard the one about the turtle and the rabbit? Well, in the bedroom there's no race, but some of us still behave like rabbits. Now, we're not talking about hopping around, but rather finishing the race a bit too quickly. Yes, we're addressing the elephant in the room: premature ejaculation. We all know that in the world of lovemaking, being quick on the draw isn't exactly a badge of honor. But here's the kicker: it's not as rare as you might think. In fact, it's as common as finding a cat video on the internet. So if you're a bit too quick on the trigger, you're in good company. It's time to debunk the myth that this is some unusual, unheard of issue. It's not, and there's no shame in it. After all, who among us hasn't wished for a pause button in those key moments? So, you see, if you're finishing your race too quickly, you're not alone. But don't worry, we've got some tips to help you last longer than a microwave minute. Alright, let's talk about the infamous stop and start technique, not to be confused with your car's fuel-saving feature. This technique is more like operating a manual transmission vehicle, where you literally stop and start, just like shifting gears. Imagine you're driving uphill in San Francisco. You're in first gear, cruising along, enjoying the ride. Suddenly, you see a steep climb ahead. You don't want to stall midway, that's embarrassing. So you slow down and shift to a lower gear. That's the stopping part. Now you're ready for the climb. You slowly release the clutch, add some gas, and off you go. That's the starting part. This is pretty much how the stop and start technique works. When things get too heated, you metaphorically shift to a lower gear, cool off, and then start again when you're ready. But just like you wouldn't master driving a stick shift car overnight, this technique requires practice and patience. Don't be discouraged if you stall a few times, or if you find yourself unable to climb that steep hill at first. Practice makes perfect, and with time, you'll learn to control the car, or in this case, your body, more effectively. And let's not forget the golden rule of driving: safety first. Always ensure you and your partner are comfortable and consenting during your driving lessons. Remember, mastering the stop and start isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Or perhaps it's more like learning to drive a stick shift without stalling at every stop sign. Now, on to the squeeze technique. No, this isn't about getting the last bit of toothpaste out of the tube. Imagine you're a cowboy riding a wild stallion. The ride is thrilling, the wind is in your hair, and then suddenly, the stallion decides it's done for the day. You're left hanging, wondering what went wrong. That's how it feels sometimes, doesn't it? Well, the squeeze technique is the lasso you need to regain control of that stallion. This method is all about understanding your body and identifying the point of no return. When you feel you're about to reach that point, you or your partner applies a quick squeeze to the base of the penis. It's almost like pressing the pause button on your favorite movie just before the climax. Exciting, isn't it? A word of caution, though: the squeeze is not a death grip. It's a firm yet gentle pinch that should help delay the fireworks. And remember, communication is key. Like a well-coordinated dance routine, you and your partner should be in sync. And let's not forget the role of the partner in this technique. It's like being a co-pilot, helping to navigate the journey to mutual satisfaction. Open communication is essential. After all, it takes two to tango, or in this case, squeeze. So, with the squeeze technique, it's a team effort. It's like trying to open a stubborn jar of pickles. Sometimes you need a little help from a friend. So, we've covered some methods to help you go from a quick draw to a long haul. We've talked about the stop and start technique, which is like playing red light, green light with your body. Remember, the key is to stop before the light turns red. Then, we delved into the squeeze technique, a pinch of prevention to avoid an early finish. It's like your body's natural pause button. Throughout all this, remember that patience, practice, and communication are your best friends. They're like the three musketeers of lovemaking. And let's not forget, these techniques are not a magic bullet. They're more like training wheels on a bike. Think of it this way. Imagine you're baking a cake. You wouldn't pull it out of the oven before it's fully baked, right? So why rush the other good things in life? So remember, in the bedroom, it's not about winning the race, it's about enjoying the journey. And hey, if all else fails, just remember, practice makes perfect, and practicing this is a whole lot of fun.